The Herencia Cubana in Toro. Hey everybody, I'm Abel Kane, this is Cigar Vlog. So, check this out. I managed to get a little bit of an AJ Fernandez sampler pack, and I think this was actually part of that. So far, it's got a rather interesting looking band, which kind of makes me think AJ Fernandez just because of the fact that it's ornate yet simple at the same time. I don't mind the crack in the wrapper there. I went ahead and punch cut it. As you can see, there's kind of a reason why you want to be careful with punch cuts, because you end up putting a lot of pressure. Focus, thank you. You end up putting a lot of pressure onto the actual cap. For Christ's sake, focus already. There you go. If you're not careful, you can crack the wrapper with punch cuts. So ideally, if you can afford it, and trust me, you can afford it, go ahead and do a guillotine or double the guillotine cutter. So that way you avoid getting obnoxious cracks like that. Now the reason as to why I punch cut is because it actually still looks halfway normal instead of like it's missing something. With that, I've also never had a problem with the draws on punch cuts. Ideally though, a nice clean cut, double guillotine, right across the top, that's your best bet for most cigars. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this lit up and figure out what's going on. Right off the bat, that is spicy. There's definitely some really heavy spice going on in this. I don't mean like pepper spice, I mean like kind of hot saucy, picante kind of spice. Earthy, leathery, spicy, not bad. Definitely an interesting start so far. Kind of worth pointing out here, this is, as you can see, box press, which means it's kind of squared. Does this actually impact how you actually smoke it? Not really. If anything, it just gives you a nice flat spot so you can set it down and it doesn't roll off the table. That's pretty much the only reason for box pressing. Then it looks cool. Funny thing though, when you actually smoke them down, they round out. So, just kind of a pointless little thing to do with a cigar that looks cool but otherwise is harmless and doesn't really do a whole lot. But anyway, so far, this is definitely starting off as a nice cigar for the middle of the day. Fitting that I'm out here during the middle of the day. So, I'll smoke this down to the first inch and see how it goes from there. Okay, definitely getting a lot of smoke off of this, especially off the foot. Alright. So far, 1 inch in. Spice has been kind of mellowing out a little bit, but it's still very prevalent. I'm getting a lot of very kind of earthy, leathery notes. Which kind of brings me back to where I call it a good middle of the day cigar. I say it's a good middle of the day cigar because it's really not one of those flavors that you want to wake up to necessarily, and it's definitely not the type of cigar that's going to put you to sleep. That's usually Connecticut's. Anyway, what I've noticed so far about this is that it's kind of one of those cigars that kind of wakes you up a little bit. Smoke this in the middle of the day when you're tired, you've been working on something all day long. Pick up one of these, and it kind of wakes you back up, keeps you focused, because it's got a little bit of spice in there. Just kind of punches you in the face and lets you know, hey, you're still awake. Hey, you still got things to do. Especially that retrohale. There's a little bit of cedary notes in the retrohale, but spicy, very spicy. But not in a bad way. I know it's probably sounding like maybe thinking that spicy is kind of somehow bad because it's going to set your nose on fire. And if you overdo it, it can. But it's kind of that good level of spice where it just kind of wakes you up and adds a little extra tweak to your flavor profile. Other than that, though, it's kind of mellowing out into a little bit of a coffee note. It'll be definitely interesting to see exactly where this goes to the halfway point. So I'm going to keep smoking this down and see if this gets a little more coffee or if it stays a little on the leather side. Alright. Alright. Nice little halfway point. The ash just fell off. I've been having to do a couple of minor touch-ups here and there because I think I got my lights screwed up yet again. So far, I noticed after the first inch, the overall flavor kind of ended up toning down on the spicy to the point of being barely even noticeable outside of the retrohale. I ended up getting a lot higher coffee note, like deep, rich espresso. The leatheriness kind of died down, but it's still very present in the retro hill, along with that kind of spicy flavor. But overall, it's really mellowed out into a deep, rich espresso note, with the occasional touches of chocolate, occasional touches of dark chocolate. But eventually, I will remember that my tongue occasionally doesn't like to sync with my teeth. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to do a couple of touch-ups here and there, and I don't think that's a construction thing. I think that's me screwing up my light yet again. Because so far, the construction of these has been actually pretty good. It's been trying really hard to autocorrect and just burn in a nice straight line. And I'm pretty sure had I not screwed up lighting, I probably wouldn't have the slightly odd burn line that I've got. Otherwise, so far, excellent cigar. I can definitely recommend pairing this with a nice, deep, rich coffee, espresso, something like that. If you're going for a little bit of the hard stuff, I kind of want to suggest a tequila. Something that's got a little bit of kind of a slight spice, but a little sweet to it. And tequila is probably one of the best things that I can think of to pair with this. Yes, thank you, wind. Just blow all over my mic. Yes, the audience loves it when you just blow into their ear and just, ugh. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting that little tunnel every so often. On a normal calm day out here, that thing will be a wind tunnel. I say when it's blowing all kinds of bloody murder out here, it'll be totally calm inside that tunnel. It's the weirdest airflow ever. Anyway, so far, definitely an excellent cigar so far. I just know that wind is just playing hell with my mic. I'm trying to keep my hand a little bit over it, but I don't know if it's working or not. I'm going to smoke this down to where the band would be. Interesting thing about the band, it was on there so loose that after about 5 minutes, I just went ahead and yanked it because it was just straight off like it didn't even want it on. So anyway, I'm going to smoke this down to where the band would be and give you a final update from there. So far, excellent cigar. Stay tuned for the band update. Alright, final update right at the band here. For the midpoint back, I started noticing that the coffee note remained, but the earthy, leathery notes kind of started to come back as well. The spice never really completely went away, but the closer I get towards the nub here, the more I start getting a little bit of that kind of cocoa note. Trying to find the right angle orient here so I get decent light without that obnoxious wind noise. So far, definitely worth the money. If you can get a box of these, I'd say these are probably definitely worth the price of admission. I can definitely recommend smoking these with a nice coffee or a tequila. You could probably also get away with doing a whiskey. That said, you know, whiskey goes with pretty much every cigar. Overall, though, excellent stick for the price. Just excellent in general. Definitely check these out. These are more than worth it. Would definitely buy again. Alright. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. A lot of flavors, a lot of complexity. Very interesting. Definitely a good cigar. So, anyway, if you like this video or any other video, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know if you had one of these. Let me know if you think I have weird thumbs. Yeah, somebody commented about that. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got for this one. I'll see you next time.